left because it's such a warm and friendly place. And very quickly into that, I became a side door greeter. And it didn't matter how your day was going. When Russ and Archie came in the side door, your day was immediately better. Just watching them walking across the parking lot hand in hand, Russ opening the door for her, stepping inside and greeting you warmly, always dressed very nicely. Archie always had a scarf or whatever on, and the two of them would just smile. And you could tell there was something more. And there's a saying that says that you can read the Bible in some people, you don't have to open it. And that's the truth about Russ and Archie. They had such a love for each other, and it was far more than just for each other. It was for their family and for the world. And one Sunday after church, we went to Taco Bell, and they happened to be in there as well. And I remember going over to the table and saying to the two of them, "What's the secret to your wonderful marriage?" In unison, they said, "God first, and each other after that." And it was so obvious that that was the key. And it just made me sit back and think as they got up to leave and walked out hand in hand.
When you think of Russ and Archie, what do you think of? I find it very unusual that it's never Russ, it's never Archie. It's Russ and Archie as one word. And the other part, Archie, that I'll never forget, I don't recall ever seeing the two of you without you holding hands. And so, back in 2011, when our church was celebrating its 200th anniversary, we had a special event. People shared all sorts of talents and skills. And I had the opportunity to share a reading from Reverend Bob Perk about the art of holding hands. And at the time, I dedicated it to both you and Russ, even though you weren't there. It's still up on our website. When I shared it with the family the other day in setting up the recording and the live streaming of all this, they said, "Would you please do that at the service?" And I said, "I'd be honored." And so please follow the story of the art of holding hands and think of Russ and Archie as being the subject behind what this very inspirational author shares. Some say it's old-fashioned. Some say it's a necessity in a world of insecurities. Others just call it romantic. Holding hands. I love to see people holding hands. It's such a powerful statement to the world, one that screams, "She's mine," or "He's with me." I can't say that I see it much anymore. I pride myself in noticing the romance in life. I get chills when I see an unusual marriage proposal played out on television. But those outward signs of love seem to be disappearing. I remember driving down the road and having my girl sitting next to me in the car. I mean, right next to me. I saw a couple that close yesterday and thought, "Oh my God, she's not wearing a seatbelt." I was mad at the guy for permitting this. But I love to see older couples walking together, holding hands. I met one such couple yesterday on my return trip home. Yes, I stopped at a mall. It seems my life is spent there. When I travel, I visit the local mall just to spend some time and get a little exercise and, of course, watch and meet people. That day, I met Russ and Archie. I couldn't help but watch them as they strolled past the stores, pausing every once in a while to giggle and kiss like two young lovebirds. And they were holding hands. In fact, swinging their arms like two lovesick teens. I absolutely loved it. I had to say hello. "I must tell you how refreshing it is to see the two of you so much in love," I said. "Oh, can you tell?" Russ laughed. "How long have you been together?" I asked. "Forever," Archie said. "I believe we were meant to be from the beginning of time. It was God's plan." I notice you holding hands. I don't see that too much anymore. It's so romantic, I said. Well, we don't just hold hands. We connect our spirits. There's a real science to it, you know, said Russ. I never realized that, I said. Well, there are different types of holding hands, he said, and went on to explain. One is like this, where you just wrap your hands around each other's. Then there's the hand hold and arm hug, where you bring her close and pull your hands in front of you like this, he said, as he demonstrated. Of course, there's the hold where you entwine your fingers, Archie said, and then giggle like a kid. Then the romantic one is when you reach for her hand, and just before you grasp it, you gently pull it up and kiss it, just like in the old days, said Russ. And the swing? I saw you swinging. Your arms are as you walk along, I said. Oh, that's just fun, goofy stuff. That's when we are just being silly. If we could skip, we would, said Archie. Then they actually tried. They stopped after one or two and just laughed. They were both so very happy. You know, I'm going to write about this. I send out stories to friends I've never met on the internet at all. Oh, the internet, sighed Russ. That's the problem, you know. People spend too much time at home in front of computer games, videos, and the internet. You can't hold hands with a computer between you, he said. No, but I can touch hearts. I will when I share your story with them, I said. Do me a favor, Archie asked, smiling as she did. Yes, my young lovebirds, I said. They laughed. Call your story The Art of Holding Hands. He's the best, she said. They kissed and then strolled away hand in hand. And one more time, they turned to me and did a little skip as they started swinging their arms. And yes, they laughed. They truly knew the art of holding hands. Archie and Russ, thank you for the inspiration you give all of us in our relationships, as Pam has shared before. Ever since we first met you, you have been a constant inspiration to us in our relationship. 71 years, I'm looking forward to it in our own relationship because of the inspiration you gave us. Holding hands, we do it all the time and always do. Thank you.